Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Logical Dynamite Radio live stream. Oh yes, and here we're going to be bootlegging it today. So this is typically the format of this channel. It kind of initially started off, it was supposed to be radio, just kind of like what we're doing right now, live stream. But then I started putting a little bit of content out there, and you guys should go ahead on and check some of that content out. Hit that like button, subscribe, share, all of these wonderful things. Because here, this is the Logic Zone. This is where we like to discuss truth and a lot of the things that they are trying to push up on the populace. That is problematic. The things that don't make any sense whatsoever. So, let's get into this particular discussion of today. Well, I was scrolling across the internet, scrolling along, and I came across an interesting video. Now, this video that we will be analyzing the subject matter of a self-identified succubus. Oh yeah, a self-identified succubus who targets and preys on men for the purposes of self-gratification, as well as an internal drive rooted in malevolence that seeks to diminish, dissolve, derail, and destroy any semblance of balance, discipline, and righteousness within a targeted individual. I mean, we're talking about problematic people here. And she does it for the purposes of, to manipulate and ultimately transform the condition of individuals and environments to a condition that more closely reflects the darkness that has been the cause for her own deteriorated state of moral fortitude and spiritual conviction. Oh yeah. So let's begin this by analyzing this video. Let me press pause on this music here, and let's go ahead and pull this up. And let's begin. So this lady right here, I'm not sure what her name is. I see some name right here on the screen, but I'm not sure if that's her name. But we'll just call her Succubus Chick. Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
The thing about good men is that they're very difficult to get over on. So like I call myself the succubus, right? Because I can actually feed off you guys. We can all do it, by the way. Just, I know how. Anybody can do it. And the hardest people who often end up the best ones to feed off of, energetic-wise, are the good, strong men. They also have the best quality semen. They're good, strong. It's something in the spirit and everything. Them super, they don't have to be Christian, but them super like spiritual men, them. And the good ones. And it's like, cool. But it's like they got this sixth fucking sense about them that they can sense what I'm about to do. And I'm like, fuck. So, back in the day when I was just doing evil shit, there were some wonderful ones that I did hurt. And, it wasn't that I didn't like them, but there was also kind of a, man, fuck you for being so good. Like, why are you so good? Let me break you so you end up like me. But then also it was like an annoyance, kind of like, God damn it, why won't you just do what I want you to do? Because they were too smart to do what I wanted them to do.
Interesting. Back to the beginning of this. So now, let's begin to analyze this video, because this is an interesting video of an interesting claim of a succubus chick. Now, hold up. Before we even get into that, we're first going to have to pose the question. What exactly is a succubus that this woman is claiming to be? Well, let's see if we can pull up exactly what a succubus is. That way we are not in the dark about what it is that we're dealing with here. If I could pull up the an actual good picture. Let's see. Well, right here. According to Wikipedia, a succubus. Let's get back to this lady's face so y'all could see her while I'm talking about her. This lady, a succubus, is, according to Wikipedia, a demon or supernatural entity in folklore in female form that appears in dreams to seduce men, usually through sexual activity. The legend has it that the full intent of the succubus was to not only drain a man of his energy, but also to steal the man. Now, let's press play a little bit here.
The thing about good men is that they're very difficult to get over on. So like I call myself the succubus, right? Because I can actually feed off you guys. We can all do it, by the way.
Now, she calls herself a succubus, and we just learned that a succubus was a demonic entity in folklore. So you might be wondering, well, if a succubus is supposed to be a demonic entity in folklore, how is it that this woman, who is evidently made of flesh and blood, how is she supposed to be a succubus, which is a spiritual entity? And that is exactly what I intend to break down. Now, the woman in this video doesn't really go into details as to what methods she uses in order to justify calling herself a succubus, but by the end of this video, you will be equipped with knowledge and know-how that may more readily aid in identifying a so-called succubus in human form. Now,
I know how.
She knows how.
Of you guys. We can all do it, by the way. I know how.
Now you probably heard the saying that misery loves company. You know, and it's usually in reference to someone who is miserable or depressed, that seeks to make everyone else miserable around them. And a good example of that would probably be, there's a character on Saturday Night Live where this lady, she goes in there and every time anyone's happy, she has to say something to bring the whole party down, right? She's called a Debbie Downer, right? So you might mistake and say, well, I mean, she's kind of like, you talking about like a misery loves company? No, because someone who is miserable like a Debbie Downer wouldn't necessarily be regarded as a succubus. See, although both can exhibit similar traits, someone who is miserable, they might attempt to manipulate high-spirited energy in order, in their peer group in order to garner sympathy or attention. But usually someone who is a Debbie Downer, they'll stay away from happy-go-lucky people. They like to stay to themselves and avoid the types of people and atmospheres that don't reflect how they feel. But a succubus, on the other hand, is much different. No. A succubus strengthens their energy source by robbing you of yours. In some case, these particular types have been referred to as energy vampires. We're talking about energy vampires, soul stealers. All right? Now, what did she say? Pay attention to one thing that she says at the beginning of the video.
The thing about good men is that they're very difficult to get over on.
Very difficult to get over on, which is a very interesting statement that she's making here. But let's continue. Why is she saying good man?
So like I call myself the succubus, right? Because I can actually feed off you guys. We can all do it, by the way.
By we, I assume she means women.
Just, I know how. Anybody can do it. And the hardest people, who often end up the best ones to feed off of, energetic-wise, are the good, strong men. They also have the best quality semen. They're good, strong. It's something
The best ones to get over on are the good, strong men. They even got some quality baby batter.
often end up the best ones to feed off of,
Best ones to feed off of.
energetic-wise,
Energetic
are
wise.
the good, strong men. They also have the best quality semen.
Why is the preferred target of a succubus woman a good man, as the woman in this video specifies? Well, I have a perspective on that. Ready? Want to hear it? Here it go. The reason why she targets a good man, you see, is because a good man is confirmation and the personification of a truth that has been rejected. What are you talking about? Keep in mind, she's talking about feeding off of people. This is taking their energy, and a good man is the best one. Yes, a good man is confirmation and the personification of a truth that has been rejected. And here's what I mean. Imagine that you and one of your friends, y'all were both recreational smokers, right? But then one day you decided to quit. And as a result of quitting, you had more focus and energy, and you dedicated all of that to accomplishing your goals, you know? And it resulted in you becoming a multimillionaire and a testament of excellence as a result of making a decision that set you apart from the path of your peer group, right? So you quit smoking and you got on your grind and on your journey, and now you're a millionaire, and it's wonderful. I mean, a mentor to a whole bunch of people. But the people that didn't change, the group that still smokes and all that and still doing the same old stuff, they blame the world for why they haven't been able to get it together. But you, having come from the same set of unfavorable circumstances as they have, and you, having taken advantage of the opportunities that they have neglected, and taking the necessary measures to heal or to get therapy in order to facilitate in your healing, you have, which have done all of these things coming from the exact same place, when they see you, it turns you into a witness against them. You become the personification of a debunker of myth. See, your accomplishment it brings it to reality that change can be made. And if both of y'all begin in identical places, you are evidence that they could have changed if they wanted to, or they could have made the changes if they wanted to. See, your accomplishments can amplify the voice of their consciousness, the consciousness that they try to suppress, that they would rather ignore, you know? And also the fact that because of the changes you have made, your light can potentially shine so brightly that it illuminates the dark corners of their world, exposing the reality of their excuses and exposing the reality that they are the reason for why they are where they are now. See? Which means you become the personification of the rejected truth, the truth that they rejected. And because of this, they must devise a plan to destabilize the foundation upon which you sit. That's why they go for good men, because they are the they are an example of excellence that change can be made. And if other men look at other men as a good example, then the whole world is going to be full of men that don't tolerate succubus women. Can't have that. I need the good ones because they must be destroyed because they are the example. See? Oh no, it's not the misery loves company. You know what she said.
And the hardest people,
The
who
hardest
often end up the best ones to feed off of, energetic wise, are the good, strong men. They also have the best quality semen. They're
Interesting. The best ones to feed off of. Well, we know why now. See, they don't succubus. No. They don't want misery as company. This isn't a case of misery loves company. No. They want perfection as a viable prospect. See, because the succubus achieves their greatest high by causing the fall of the greatest of men. Now, here's a claim that she made.
To get over on. So like I call myself the succubus, right? Because I can actually feed off you guys. We can all do it, by the way. Just
right there. Feed off of you. What is she talking about?
Because I can actually feed off you guys. We can all do it, by the way.
Now, this is something that a lot of people may not be aware of, but the typical people that I've seen fall for succubus types is the guys who are not well seasoned in the dating game. Guys that I believe they call them incels and things like that. I'm seeing those types of guys are some of the biggest victims of succubus women. So when she says feed off of you, well, what is she talking about?
Right? Because I can actually feed off you guys. We can.
Okay. This is the base of our subject matter right here. We'll be discussing 5 of the tactics. 5 tactics to look out for, 5 tactics to recognize. Because she doesn't give the details. She just says, oh, we all know how to do it. Oh, well, you don't have to give details. I'll do it. And these are the 5 tactics that you would be wise to look out for in a potential mate. 5 tactics and strategies of succubus women, the energy vampires. Now, number 1, the first tactic of a succubus is putting the wham bam on the man. Oh yeah, we're talking about that wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. The first tactic of a succubus is they like to utilize a man's his whipness. See what I'm saying? If a man gets whipped, if she puts it on him and does it really well, guess what? Especially a man who doesn't know where his next meal is coming from, that will be used as a tool to manipulate a man. That's one of the more simple ones. That's that's kind of something that a lot of people know. They notice the difference in their guys, in some of their boys. Oh man, you whip. Oh man, you don't even hang out no more, bro. Oh, you whip behind that girl. Well, yeah. Now, being whipped doesn't necessarily mean that you're dealing with a succubus, but because you can have someone that doesn't have that intention, right? It's not their intention to whip you and have you go crazy. Matter of fact, some of them are wondering why you're so crazy. But it's the type of women who use sex as a tool. Okay? And then punish you by withholding sex in order to get you to comply with something that they wanted you to do. Oh, yes, indeedy. So the first one is one who uses sex as leverage. Now, And of course, with the ones who use sex as leverage, they'll be the ones who intentionally, will try to take the man's semen, to get pregnant in order to use the child in order to control the man or to drain him of his resources, right? And we know all about that, but wind up having a baby in the process. Okay. Now, number 2 trait of a woman who is potentially a succubus is she uses jealousy to influence a man's priorities. What are you talking about? She uses jealousy to influence a man's priorities. Well, here's what she'll do, and her insecurity about you. Let's say you're an attractive guy, and other girls say, oh, he's cute, blah blah blah. She catches wind of this. So what she doesn't want to do is she does not want you to stray away. She doesn't want you to stray away. She sees that you have options. She doesn't want you to stray away. And not in every case does a man have options, but just hear me out. So what she'll do is she will entertain the idea of you losing her. The idea of you losing her in order to get you jealous. She'll go and talk to other men on purpose in order to be sure that all of your attention is drawn to her and not your options. And she'll do it out of the blue. She'll do it to make you jealous because your jealousy is giving her energy. Okay? These types, the type that will use jealousy to influence a man's priorities, I'm going to tell you, I've seen situations where a woman she'll intentionally answer the phone. If a man is on his job, he's working, he'll call home. She answers the phone. Hey, baby, I'm on my lunch break. You on your lunch break? What's wrong with you? Oh, nothing. I hit my toe. She'll be making all of these noises on purpose to give the idea, salacious noises, to give him, to implant in his mind, there's somebody in his bed. This man will leave his job, jump in his car, speed down the highway, get pulled over, get a ticket, just a bust in the house, and find ain't nothing going on. And she's like, what's wrong with you? Why you was talking like that? You had me, you tripping. I don't know what's wrong with you, blah, 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 blah. Right? She'll put on this act, all of these things to make him jealous, and then act like she's not doing it. Now, he's lost his job because he abandoned it. Not only that, he has a speeding ticket. And not only that, she's made him look like a doggone fool. Intentionally using jealousy to influence a man's priorities. This number 2 tactic of a succubus. Number 3, the third tactic is she is perpetually in a state that requires rescuing, either emotional rescue or financial rescue. She is perpetually in a state that requires rescue. Now, this can either be directed as you as the cause that she needs rescue, or someone else who is the cause that she needs rescue. But the responsibility to fix it is thrown into your lap. And you'll find this type, like this is the type that always needs something. Always needs something. There will be a lot that like to ask for money. They like to ask for money. And this is typically the type, and not just ask for money, but this is typically the type that has a lot of guys surrounding them, orbiting their planet. And they call them, those are my friends. They have a lot of guys in the friend zone, and they use them They use them for validation. They use them to come to the rescue, to change the light bulbs, to fix this and fix that. Oh, they have sob stories for days. Oh, I'm low on my rent. Baby need Pampers. But they never give anything substantive to the man. All they give them is demands and requests. And sometimes, they might want to not sour the Kool-Aid, if you will. They'll go out and do something, just to make it look like they're doing something for him. If he gives her $100, she'll take 10 and go buy him a pack of cigarettes and pocket the 90 and be like, look what I did for you, honey. Like, oh, she cares about me, not realizing that she just gave you a $10 refund while keeping 90. You see? But these types are perpetually in a state that requires rescue. They're takers. And these types, they do a lot of crying. Always crying. Oh my goodness. It's like you're on the phone. Hey, I was just calling to check on you. What's wrong? Oh, ain't nothing. Don't worry about it. No, talk to me. See, but that don't worry about it. That is tactical. They do that to get you to ask more, to get it more involved. Now, you being adamant that they share with you what's going on, that's you investing even more of yourself. So a lot of times they'll play this game like they don't want to tell you what's going on because it sparks your curiosity, and people, they're curious. It's like, people don't like to be left in the dark about things. Someone telling the joke, oh, never mind, I had a thought. Don't worry about it. No, I want to know. Tell me the thought. No, don't worry about it. And the more they tell you that, the more it makes you want to ask. And a lot of people love that. They love that you're investing more and more in your curiosity that is frustrating you. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what these types do. They always have sob stories. They want you to come to the rescue. And they will pretend like they want to do it themselves or whatever, or everything's a big secret. They don't want to bother you with it. I don't want to trouble you with my stuff. If you didn't want to trouble me, why are you crying? If you didn't want to trouble me, you would have put on a charade, but you're doing it on purpose for a reason. And it is to get you further and further invested in them. Because the more you invested, the more attention, the more energy that they could rob of you with nonsense. Now, the fourth tactic that is utilized by a woman who is a succubus, that should be watched out for, is she uses language that causes a man who is invested in her. She uses language that causes a man who is invested in her to doubt himself. All while she plays the charade of a woman who is looking out for his best interests. Yes. This is the woman. She uses the language that causes a man who's invested in her to doubt himself. What is that? What am I talking about? I'm talking about the type of woman that and this typically works on young guys. This typically works on younger guys. He's like, are you sure you sure you wearing that? You sure that's what you gonna do? You should change into that shirt and put this on, that blah blah blah. Now he's like, oh, there's something wrong with how I'm dressed. Okay, well, I'm gonna go. She's highly critical of him, highly critical, and you find this a lot with I say younger guys, but you also find this with educated women that are like, they have higher educations, and they're dealing with a man that has not been educated, that doesn't have like an undergrad degree, or even if he does, let's say she has a master's or a doctorate, she'll look at, or she can speak to someone who is not as educated in whatever field that she's educated in, or doesn't have the paperwork. She'll speak to them in a way that communicates that she is more superior than he, because she questions everything that he has to say or everything that he has to do, even if he's right. But what this does is, as long as he's doubting himself, he will look to her as the source of direction, which in reality, if he has to go to her and get her okay, that is him giving her more and more energy. Because the less confidence you have, the more perceptibly weak you are. Okay? And we see this a lot. I mean, whenever a guy is dating a lady or whatever, and he has certain dreams, and she's like, you need to do this, he blah, 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 blah. Now, sometimes a man does need that, because a man can live in fairy tale land. He's 65 years old, talking about he's about to drop his first rap album. It's like, okay, look, and he's been broke for the last 45 years, not working, basement of his grandma's house. Talk about he's about to, okay, good, yeah. Sometimes, yeah, a man does need that, a woman to, give him a figurative smack in the head, a reality check. But then again, no woman should be messing with that type of guy. But when a woman is dealing with a man, and a man who is trying to be on his purpose, this particular individual will criticize everything about him to make him cast doubt on himself, to where he doesn't know which way is up. He doesn't know his left from his right. He questions everything. And once she's able to make him question everything, then she's able to isolate him. Once he's isolated, he relies on her for his direction, not knowing that he's actually being drained of his life source. Because what ultimately happens is she's going to leave him. Once he's fully drained, the succubus types leave them because he has no more energy, nothing else to give. The entire reason for being a succubus is to destroy men, is to take as much of their life force as they have, is to destroy it. Okay? That is number 4. Now the final one, and I'm sure that there are more that other people can think of, but the final one, the final tactic that is typically found in a woman who is a succubus is she is a master gaslighter. And nothing seems to please her. Let me say that again. She is a master gaslighter. And nothing that you do ever seems to please her. Now, this particular type, oh my goodness. See, and this is the part where this woman right here, let's go back to the video. Let's go back to the video. Because here's what she says that exposes number 5.
All do it, by the way. Just I get over on. So I call myself the
right there. Look.
Get over on.
Hold on. What did she say?
Is that they're very difficult to get over on.
Get over on. What does that mean? That is the personality of number 5, the master gaslighter. where nothing seems to please her. Now watch this.
So like I call myself the succubus, right? Because I can actually feed off you guys. We can all do it, by the way. Just I know how. Anybody can do it. And the hardest people who often end up the best ones to feed off of energetic wise are the good, strong men. They also have the best quality semen. They're good, strong. It's something in the spirit and everything. Them super, they don't have to be Christian, but them super like spiritual men, them. And the good ones. And it's like, cool. But it's like they got this sixth fucking sense about them that they can sense what I'm about to do.
Right there. The master gaslighter. What this is someone that makes you think you're crazy. Someone that makes you believe their problems are your fault. Now, I've seen this particular situation where a woman would tell a man, you should start doing more romantic things for me. You should, like, you don't do anything for me. You don't do it. You don't do this. You don't do that. I'm looking. She's not working. I mean, I see all of this stuff in this house. Valentine's Day balloons. Okay, great. Check. Candy. Whatever. Teddy bear over there. Okay, it shows that he's doing something. I see a big. Wow. She even got a big ring. But she'll turn to say, you don't do anything. You don't do anything for me. Like you do nothing. I bought you those flowers. What's that? I don't even like roses. What? Yeah, everything he does, nothing's good enough. This kind of plays into the fourth personality, but it's not necessarily the fourth personality. Fourth personality was the woman who uses language to have a man cast doubt within himself. No. The fifth one, no. This is a master gaslighter. This is like the master manipulator, and nothing seems to please her. I've seen these types. These types will befriend a man's mother to try to get his own mother against him. And, and weaker women that have this, this Shaka Khan complex where they believe I'm every woman, and they just align themselves with women regardless of the truth and the facts. They'll fall victim to the wiles and to the manipulative tactics and the persuasion and seduction of a succubus. Yeah, because her job is to isolate you and drain you. If she could turn your own mother against you, come on. Yes, if she could turn your friends against you, come on. And then guess what they'll do? They will accept you back. Oh, yes. You come back with tears. I'm sorry, baby. What do I need to do? Oh, they're going to accept you back. A lot of times they pretend, like they, like they won't accept you back, but they do. But here's what happens. Sometimes they wait a while. When you get that, hey, big head text, it could be a year from now. Be 5 years later, a succubus always comes back. And incubus too, but we're not talking about them right now. But a succubus comes back. She's checking to see if the energy has been replenished, the energy that she robbed. If it's been replenished. And guess what? A lot of guys fall right back into that trap. One of the deterrents, one of the things in folklore that they say deters a succubus is a woman in a man's bed. Succubus would typically target, in folklore, they would typically target single men who slept alone. It's interesting, isn't it? See, a succubus needs I believe that they need the type of men that are finding it difficult to navigate the world of women. And typically, the more successful succubus women are attractive, but a lot of times they may overrate themselves. They may rank themselves a lot higher than what they should be because of the amount of men that they have access to, which is probably a great majority of them. But it's different when you start dealing with a different type of man. A different type of man. These things don't necessarily work. This is why she was saying, I find it difficult. They're the hardest to get over on, guys who are spiritually grounded, but how she said, if I'm able to break them, dang it, that's some of the best eating I ever had, And it reminds me of the movie It, where the clown, the scarier the person was, the better the meal tasted. So he thrived on scaring the living daylights out of you. Then after doing that, he would consume you. So with her, the higher that she can make you fall, the better energy she can take from you. Now, but what is the Achilles heel? What is the Achilles heel of the succubus? I believe that she reveals the story, or the actual Achilles heel right here. Take a listen.
And I'm like, fuck. So, but it's like they got this sixth fucking sense about them that they can sense what I'm about to do. And I'm like, fuck. So, back in the day when I was just doing evil shit, there were some wonderful ones that I did hurt. And
wonderful ones she hurt. Take a listen.
It wasn't that I didn't like them, but there was also kind of a, man, fuck you for being so good. Like, why are you so good? Let me break you so you end up like me.
That's a very important part. And we're going to tackle in how to avoid it. But that part right there, that is her giving you evidence that you are the personification of a rejected truth. That is the evidence of that. That her goal is to break the evidence that she can change, that there is a such thing as good in this world. That there is a path to healing one's brokenness. That perhaps someone has found a meaning for living. She doesn't like that. Why can't I break you? I want to break you like me. I don't like the fact that you're so good. How do you reach the point where a succubus reaches the level of frustration, or her level of frustration, because they cannot break you? How do you become unbreakable? She tells you.
But then also it was like an annoyance, kind of like, God damn it, why won't you just do what I want you to do? Because they were too smart to do what I wanted them to do.
Bam! Right there. Now this deserves all music to stop. Stop music. Even that. Right there. And you can look in her eyes. You could see these are the eyes of fear. Fear. What is she afraid of? She is afraid of having to face herself in the mirror and face the truth. She wants to break the reflection of positivity, of healing, of all of the wonderful things that she has convinced herself does not exist in the world. Because it is the belief that the world is bad. She uses that as her reasoning for destroying people. Well, because the world ain't gonna do nothing but destroy you anyway. That's what the world is made out of. So I'm just playing my part in the world. Shoot, it's just destruction. Everybody is dog eat dog world. That's how I've been taught. Every man out for himself. That's what it is. Oh no, why are you so good? Why are you so good? I hate the fact that you're so good. I can't break you. And what did she say was the cause? What she say?
Just do what I want you to do.
Do what I want you to do.
Because they were too smart to do what I wanted them to do.
They were too smart to follow her. And this is the example of a man on his purpose. A man on his purpose is, guess what? A force to be reckoned with. You know, as you know, we've all heard the saying, you know, if you don't stand for something, you're liable to fall for anything. Well, one of the greatest things that a man can have, or should have, before even entertaining the idea of a woman, is he should have his principles, his discipline, and his constitution. The constitution that guides his compass, his moral compass. All of these things should be in place, and he also should have his counsel. Typically, elders that have been or are now where he would like to be. He must have all of these things in place. Otherwise, you don't have anything, no resounding board, no nothing to draw from. But once you have all of those things in place, then when a predator, a self, praised, I mean, like she's bragging, self-identified succubus comes along, you will be the personification of a rejected truth. A tree that is planted firmly by the water, that cannot be moved. And the only thing that she is able to do at that point on, well, she could either plant herself or get to stepping. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Logical Dynamite Radio. This subject matter, succubus tactics. Hope that you enjoyed this program. It is all for the purposes of healthy dialogue and debunking the myths. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, keep it logical. Dynamite